right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. The phone number, if you want to call me or text me today, 870-275-9799. That's 870-275-9799. Hey, joining us now, as promised, we have Jan Morgan on the line, an NRA, Arkansas State Police certified pistol instructor. Jan, are you there?
Yes, I am. How are you doing, Paul?
I'm doing good. Now, you're calling from your place of business, the Gun Cave, right?
Yes, that's why you probably hear gunfire going on behind me.
Yeah,
Sorry about that.
I'm very offended. I'm very offended. My liberal sensibilities. I'm terrified of guns, and so we should have issued a trigger warning.
You fit right in with some of those Republicans I've been fighting all week. Then join the crowd.
Yeah.
Do I need to name names for you so you know which ones are scared of guns?
I mean, you can feel free to say whatever you want to say on the program, Jan. I wanted to talk about I wanted to talk about this situation here, and I've been following some of your posts on Facebook. I know you were at the Capitol earlier this week. We have an NRA-backed amendment by Senator Linda Collins Smith. It was supposed to be voted on this campus carry bill yesterday, and it wasn't because Senator Jeremy Hutchinson adjourned the meeting early. We now hear from Trent Gardner yesterday that that's because he wants to wait until Tuesday because maybe they can reach some other kind of compromise that I'm assuming will mean more restrictions on our Second Amendment rights. Take it away, Jan.
Exactly. I'll tell you what. This has been so enlightening and discouraging to me because I, Paul, am normally on national TV on Fox News debating anti-gun liberals. But I can tell you that the guys in our Republican Party, 2 or 3 that I have been debating with and arguing with all week, are taking their arguments straight from the Michael Bloomberg anti-gun Moms Demand Action instruction manual. The very arguments that they are spouting against campus carry, to me, are the same arguments that I normally get from anti-gun radicals on national TV. So I am appalled. Listen, let me tell you, Paul, and your audience, what some senators have said to me this week, okay?
Okay.
Here we go. One senator had the nerve to tell me that his son is a college-age student, and he recently visited the college, and that his son and their friends are drinkers, they're partiers, they're just not responsible enough to be handling guns. Hence the age limit he wanted to put at 25 on the campus carry. So his son is irresponsible, his son's friends are irresponsible, and we just really don't want these people entrusted with firearms on our campuses. Yes, one of our senators actually admitted that to me. In other words, you, Senator, are willing to leave my daughter, who also happens to be a college-age student, who happens to be very mature and very responsible, you want to leave her vulnerable on college campus because of the irresponsible, irrational behavior of your son and his friends. Thanks for the heads up on your moral compass and your true position on the Second Amendment. These are the arguments I'm hearing from some of our Republicans. I am absolutely sick of it. And I tell you what, I'm going to start calling them out on my Facebook page by name. And let me go ahead and start right now with 3 of them. Number 1, let's start with the governor's office, Asa Hutchinson, because Asa Hutchinson is the one who's manipulating some of our good old boy senators who have political aspirations for the future, and they're trying to do his bidding. What I told some of his boys today, senators, is that you're going to have to make a choice. And it seems to me that rather than serving the all-powerful governor, you need to serve the people who elected you primarily because you're supposed to be conservative Republicans. It seems to me, Paul, that these senators have already forgotten the message that the people of this state sent when we elected Donald Trump with a 72% margin. Our message is we are tired of politically correct, polished politicians doing what they want once they get into the state capitol building and forgetting the people who sent them there. I'll tell you what, we are in a war. And I am not going to back down. I'm going to name names, and I will campaign heavily against every single Republican who stands against campus carry and denies our law-abiding, concealed handgun carrying licensed citizen adults from being able to defend themselves on college campus. And listen to this, Paul. I'm sorry, I know you probably need a break, but let me tell you this. Another argument I heard from a senator. This Jeremy Hutchinson said to me, well, we don't want them taking their guns into the college dorms. Excuse me? So my daughter is going to have to park her car outside the college dorm and walk in the dark from her car into the dorm through that parking lot and leave herself defenseless because we don't trust our adults to handle their firearms in the dorm. And then Trent Garner had the nerve to tell me, well, Senator Collins' own bill says that dorms cannot be storage places for firearms. Well, the key word there is storage. No, we don't store our firearms here. Responsibly armed, concealed carry citizens have their guns on them or within arm's reach, on their person within all times. That means on you, in your purse, in your backpack. You don't leave it in the dormitory and go run around campus unless you leave it in a locked box. And there are campuses around this country that have gone to campus carry who say, if you're going to leave your gun in the dormitory rather than having it on you, then you have a lockbox for it. There are ways to get around that and keep guns secured on campus.
We're talking with Jan Morgan, and Jan obviously knows she's been an advocate for the Second Amendment for such a long time. She has a massive social media following, and she just called out the governor there. And I'll say you want them to make a choice. You want these senators that you've been interacting with and talking with to make a choice. And I will just tell you, on other conservative issues, it's so far been very hard for them to resist whatever the governor wants. We have two senators are the governor's nephews, and that's Jim Hendren and Jeremy Hutchinson, and they're the ones that supported the toxic amendment a couple of weeks ago that eventually has sent this back into committee. And so I hope that if there's going to be one conservative issue that actually, allows them to do what is the principled thing here, the constitutional thing, I hope it's the Second Amendment, because if it's not the Second Amendment, I don't know what it would be.
Okay, and one other thing, Paul, you and your audience are about to be the other than there are only two people that know that I've done this today. I pulled my support for Senator Trent Garner's constitutional carry bill. Yes, I'm in full support of constitutional carry, but I told Trent, I'm not talking behind his back here, I told him today by phone, I said, look, I no longer support your constitutional carry bill because it is a shell of a bill, and you have shown me through your actions that you are one way to me and to the Second Amendment people, and then when you get behind closed doors, you do something else, because Trent Garner and Jeremy Hutchinson, are responsible for Senator Linda Collins Smith's bill not being voted on in judiciary. And the reason they didn't want it voted on is because we all know that there's nothing wrong with her bill. And they don't want it voted on the Senate floor because they know it's going to pass, because the Republicans in this state, regardless of what they're saying behind closed doors, when it comes to a public vote, they have to vote for what the people sent them there to vote on, and they don't want to have to go against it, so they're going to have to support it. They know it's going to pass. So therein lies your problem. Something else I've learned, Paul, is there is way too much crap going on behind the doors in the state capitol building in this state. People need to be able to see and hear what our senators and our congressmen are doing behind closed doors and the deals they're making. All of this stuff should be happening in public. If the public knew the kinds of crap that I have witnessed and heard over the past 3 days that's usually kept quiet, they would be appalled. So I tell you what, I'm about to be a frequent face at the state capitol building, because I'm going to try to reveal as much as possible to people, because our media is not doing it. You're the only one that's up there, in the middle of everything, telling people what's going on and getting people on the air on where they stand on issues. So I appreciate you, and I applaud you for that.
Well, we're trying to do exactly what you just said, is to tell as many people what's going on, because I really do believe that if they knew, and you're exactly right, when you talked about Donald Trump earlier, the people. But let's just take it back all the way back to the primary. The people of Arkansas back in March, of 2016, they voted all for Donald Trump. Or, he won Arkansas in the primary. And we're talking, Republican voters here. That's the base. And so they already had figured out what was going to happen in November. And yet here we are. And, I mean, just for our other listeners, they've been listening for a while, but, I mean, we've had tax increases, we've had growth in government, we've had, all of these things happening, and now we get to what I would consider, Jan, and I hope you would too, I would consider among Republicans, Second Amendment stuff, it should be low-hanging fruit. It's the stuff that we're all supposed to agree on, and we're not agreeing on it. So frustrating. No.
It is, and the reason we're not agreeing on it is because we have some people with the R next to their title who are not true R's, okay? They're not true Republicans. That's why I endorsed Curtis Coleman for the governor's race. I mean, I came out early on and said, this is the guy. This guy is a constitutional conservative. You can count on it. He just didn't have the money behind him. But I think that what our politicians are about to learn is, in this state, just like every state in this country, it's not about how much money you have to spend. I mean, Hillary Clinton outspent Trump by how much? How many billions of dollars? So it's about your message, and it's about reaching the people. And the people are finally paying attention, and they know who they can believe and who they don't. And these politicians who think they can pull the wool over the public's eyes now, they're wrong. People they're off their couches. They're paying attention because it's their dollars. It's their kids. My daughter's life is on the line if she goes to an Arkansas college, which is why she's going to a Texas college, because I'm not going to put her in that position. Because some of our senators have irresponsible kids. See, they're doing their own will and the will of their governor, whose friends are in high places on college boards, rather than doing the will of the people out there who voted for them when they said, we're going to stand by the Second Amendment. Yes, we are pro-gun. We're pro-2A. No, they're not.
Mm-hmm.
No, they're not.
Yeah, and
that's absolutely a lie.
And these college presidents, these college boards, I mean, these guys are operating on taxpayer dollars. They are state agencies. People have been texting me. Some of them have been saying, what about local control? And I'm like, no. The local control with everyone's tax dollars in the state of Arkansas means that our representatives elected by the people can control this, and they should control it, and they should set a pro-Second Amendment policy. Now, you mentioned earlier, about not allowing the guns into dorm rooms, and I'm wondering, have you heard anything about what the negotiations might be in the future? If they are trying to negotiate, are they going to still put the training on? Are they going to leave the age at 25 instead of 21? What are you hearing there?
I'm hearing so many different things, and it's changing by the moment. The more I apply pressure, the more backing up I'm getting, and asked to hold off, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. But the bottom line is I think they're in panic mode because suddenly the public is involved in a very big way, and we're watching this, and we're going to pounce. We're going to respond accordingly. So they're not going to have a choice. But let me just say this. Campus carry, we're not inventing nuclear science here. This is not rocket science. There are campuses all over this country who have campus carry. It's not like we're having to invent something from scratch. There are some very good campus carry programs out there in other states across this country. Why is it such a problem in the state of Arkansas?
I don't know. I mean, you bring up an excellent point about you sent your daughter to a school in Texas because they already have this right. And I don't understand why we're so. It's almost like they have, like you said at the beginning, they have bought the liberal Michael Bloomberg line, and they are afraid of guns, or they think that Arkansas will become the wild, wild west or something.
No, they're afraid of their own kids and their kids' friends with guns because they know how their kids are. But here's what I said to one of the senators who used that argument to me. I said, you know what you sound like? You sound like Michael Bloomberg's people when I debate them on Fox News nationally. I said, because that's their argument for us getting to carry guns in public. They call it common sense gun control. Same kind of argument these guys are making, common sense campus carry. Mm-hmm. You might as well call it that. But what their argument is because some kids, we really don't want these kids with guns because some kids can't be trusted with guns. Let's restrict and stop all kids from carrying guns. Let's punish everybody. What if we took that same mentality to our public carry situation? Okay, because there are immature, irresponsible adults out here in the state of Arkansas running around in our public places, and we don't want them armed because they're idiots. Do we disarm all the rest of us because of their irresponsible behavior? No, that's more reason we need to be armed. And I said, my daughter, I'm not going to jeopardize my daughter's life because your son is irresponsible.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that you're legislating away my daughter's rights because of your son's irresponsible behavior. That's my argument, and I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to stand firm with Senator Linda Collins Smith on her bill. Oh, and one of them tried to tell me about, like I already said that about the storage thing. Senator Linda Collins Smith's bill is fine as it is. I'm fine with it. The word storage doesn't mean that you can't carry that gun into your dorm room. It means that you can't just leave it there unattended.
Right, and I think that's obviously, that's the whole point of the bill is personal protection. And, Charlie Collins, when he presented this bill originally, Jan, in committee, he started by listing the tragedies at our college campuses because they are gun-free zones. And,
exactly.
It's amazing to me how we do have Republicans that don't see these mass shootings, not just at college campuses, but everywhere else. And it is because they are gun-free zones and they attract the crazy people. And the only thing that's going to end that crazy person's fantasy is to send bullets back in their direction. And I don't understand why some of our Republicans don't get that. Or
not only sending bullets back in the direction of the crazy guys, Paul, simply the knowledge that you don't know who's armed and who isn't, and that the girl you're about to attack could be armed, that's enough to stop a threat.
Yes.
Because the knowledge, what stops bad guys with guns is the knowledge that all the good guys here have guns too, or a majority of them do, and you never know which ones do and which ones don't. And keep this in mind. Last year in America, over 2 million times, Paul, law-abiding citizens pulled guns in self-defense and saved lives. And in most of those cases, the trigger was never pulled. Simply pulling that gun stops the threat. And ultimately, any responsibly armed citizen hopes that they never have to shoot another human being. I hope I never have to. But you know what? That gun gives me the option to pull and stop a threat if necessary. And possibly pulling that gun may be enough.
Jan Morgan, I appreciate it so much, and I know you're going to be talking with your massive social media following, and I know it's just going to do more to hopefully get a good bill passed that is a pro-Second Amendment bill, and I appreciate you coming on.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, Paul.
All righty. Thank you, Jan. That's Jan Morgan, everybody. Again, she's an NRA and an Arkansas State Police certified pistol instructor, and you see that the graphic there. Really, really good interview. Appreciate her coming on. And again, her social media following is pretty massive. And I will say this: it was so interesting to hear, because her issue is the Second Amendment. I mean, that's what she focuses on